people are dead.
6 people have died.
Singer and comedian Oliver Tree was one of 6 people who died in a mid-air helicopter collision in Brazil on Sunday morning.
On a bright Sunday morning in June, a 32-year-old American musician named Oliver Tree climbed into a helicopter over Rio de Janeiro. He was one of the most recognizable faces on the internet, in the middle of the biggest tour of his life. 7 continents, more than 70 shows. He had just played Sao Paulo, and Europe was only weeks away. The flight that morning was supposed to be short and routine, the kind of quick trip that had become part of life on tour. As he lifted off, Oliver had no reason to think anything was wrong. But somewhere over the western edge of Rio, just before 9 in the morning, a second helicopter was crossing the very same patch of sky. And in an instant, none of them saw coming, the 2 aircraft arrived at the same point in the air at the same moment. Neither one came down in one piece. This is the story of the Rio de Janeiro mid-air collision, the crash that killed singer Oliver Tree and 5 others. If you spent any time online in the last 10 years, you have probably seen his face. His name was Oliver Tree Nickel. He was born in Santa Cruz, California in 1993. He first blew up in 2016 on the app Vine. His character there was called Turbo. Turbo had a blunt bowl cut, baggy clothes out of the 1980s, and a strange, deadpan humor you could not look away from. That same year, Oliver put out his first hit song, When I'm Down. A year later, he signed with Atlantic Records. The internet comedy turned into a real music career. He released 4 albums. His last one, Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, had come out only 2 months before he died. Some of his songs were played hundreds of millions of times, including Life Goes On and Miss You. He was a musician, a comedian, a director, and an internet personality all at once. That was the whole point. The costume was a joke. The talent under it was real. His fans loved that he never told you which was which. By the summer of 2026, that career had carried him around the world. He had played Coachella in April. In June, the tour reached Brazil. He did his shows, then had a few open days, and he chose to spend them in Rio de Janeiro. In the days before the crash, he was posting cheerful videos from the city to the millions of people who followed him. To understand what happened, you first have to picture the sky over Rio de Janeiro. Rio is one of the great helicopter cities on Earth. The land almost forces it. Mountains, beaches, packed neighborhoods, and Christ the Redeemer looking down over all of it. Sightseeing flights run all day, carrying tourists over Sugarloaf Mountain and the coast. Private helicopters hop between the city and the island resorts down the shore. On a clear weekend morning, this sky is busy. That Sunday, 2 of those helicopters mattered. One was a Bell Jet Ranger. The other was an Aerospatiale Écureuil. Both are small, both have a single engine, both are common, everyday machines used for charter and sightseeing all over the world. Brazilian records show both were properly registered and cleared to fly. The 2 had taken off from different places. One came from Angra dos Reis, a coastal resort area southwest of the city. The other came from Jacarepaguá, an airfield in Rio's western zone. Officials say both left exactly as the rules required. The Jet Ranger was the fuller of the 2. It carried 5 people. There was the pilot, Alexandre Souza, and 4 passengers. One of them was Oliver Tree. The second helicopter, the Écureuil, carried just 1 man, its pilot, Charles Marciac. 2 helicopters, 6 people, 1 ordinary morning in a place where this kind of flight happens every single day. If a story like this one matters to you, take a second to hit the like button. It helps this channel reach more people, and it costs you nothing. It was about 8:59 in the morning, local time. Both helicopters were over a neighborhood called Recreio dos Bandeirantes in the southwest of Rio. Below them ran a busy avenue and an ordinary city block. On that block sat a car dealership, its lot packed with brand new cars. People were going about a normal Sunday. No one on the ground had any reason to look up. Then, in the open air above that block, the two helicopters came together. A mid-air collision is one of the most feared things in all of flying. Here is why it happens. Small helicopters and light planes mostly keep themselves apart by sight. There is no controller on the ground spacing them out the way there is for big passenger jets. The pilots are simply expected to look out the window, see other traffic, and steer clear. It works almost every time, but when it fails completely, and it fails in less than a second. A security camera nearby caught one of the helicopters falling from the sky. In the footage, which later spread across the internet, the aircraft loses control, spins, and drops toward the ground. One witness was a tire repair worker close by. He looked up and saw one helicopter already in flames. One witness claimed to have seen a person jump from one of the aircraft before it hit the ground. He called it terrifying. There was nothing he or anyone could do. Both helicopters came down onto the dealership grounds. They landed in separate spots, about 100 meters apart. We are about to walk through what happened on the ground and what investigators now have to answer. If you want to follow this story as the official findings come out, subscribe and turn on notifications now before we go any further. The Jet Ranger exploded the moment it hit. It came down into the dealership lot and burst into flames. The fire spread to around 20 cars. And here is where the modern world made things worse. Those were electric cars. Their batteries do not burn like a normal fuel tank. When a lithium battery catches fire, it gives off highly toxic gas. It also burns hotter and harder than an ordinary car fire. The flames were difficult to control. They filled the block with poisonous smoke. The second helicopter, the Ecureuil, did not catch fire. It came down about 100 meters away. It landed upside down, its landing gear pointing at the sky. The crash threw wreckage across a wide area. Pieces of the two helicopters were found more than 100 meters out. One tail section ended up on the roof of a nearby building. The response was fast. Around 45 emergency personnel and 15 vehicles rushed to the scene. One lane of the avenue was shut for the rescue. By about 10 in the morning, a little over an hour after the crash, the fire was under control. Crews then began searching the wreckage for leaking fuel. By then, there was nothing anyone could do. All 6 people on the 2 helicopters were gone. It is easy in a story like this to remember only the famous name, but 6 people died over that block. Every one of them had a life and people waiting for them. 5 were in the Jet Ranger. There was the pilot, Alexandra Souza. There was a Brazilian music producer who had been working with Oliver in Brazil. There was an Argentine director and screenwriter named Lucas Vignale. There was a young Argentine YouTuber known online as Gatsby, who had a big following of his own. And there was Oliver Tree. In the second helicopter alone was its pilot, Charles Marciak. The news reached Oliver's family in the worst way. His father, Jesse Nickel, said he learned of it from a producer in Brazil who had been making music with his son. The family asked for privacy. His father offered only a few quiet words of peace for Oliver, and nothing more. The tributes came fast and from everywhere. Oliver's record label called his death a shock and called him a true original. Musicians, comedians, and creators who had worked with him or simply loved his work shared their grief online. A whole generation had grown up watching his videos. Now they had to take in that the person behind them was gone at just 32 at the height of his career. Within hours, Brazil's accident investigators were on the ground. The lead agency is called CENIPA. It is the Brazilian Air Force's center for investigating air accidents. Its job now is to collect data, protect the scene, and recover the key parts of both helicopters, especially the engines. That physical evidence is what any final report will rest on. A second agency is involved too. It is Brazil's National Civil Aviation Authority, known as ANAC. ANAC said it is checking the paperwork and the legal standing of both helicopters and both pilots. And this is where the first hard questions appear. Reports say neither helicopter was licensed to work as an air taxi. An air taxi is a flight that carries paying passengers for money. So far, officials have not said whether either helicopter was being used that way that morning. There is one more flag in the history of these aircraft. The owner of the Jet Ranger had been fined by ANAC the year before, in 2025. The reason was simple. He had refused to hand over financial records to inspectors. On its own, that proves nothing about the crash, but it is exactly the kind of detail investigators dig into when they trace how a flight came together. Officials have been clear that it is far too early to name a cause. They are studying the security footage, the flight records, the wreckage, and what witnesses saw. Pilot error, a mechanical failure, a breakdown in communication, all of these are still on the table. None has been ruled out. ANAC also made one pointed statement. It urged everyone who flies on small private aircraft to check the company and the aircraft before they board. The biggest question is also the simplest. With clear skies and open air all around them, how did these two helicopters ever manage to hit each other? This was not a freak, one-off event with no pattern behind it. The truth is, helicopter crashes are common in Brazil. By CENIPA's own count, the country had already seen 84 aircraft accidents in 2026 before this one. And this type of crash points to one of aviation's oldest problems. We just saw it in action. When small aircraft have to keep themselves apart by sight, the system holds, right up until two of them end up in the same place at once. Over a city as crowded with helicopters as Rio, that margin is thinner than it looks from the street. For most people, a helicopter ride over Rio is a dream, a beautiful 20 minutes that almost always ends exactly as planned. This time, it did not, and that is the hard part. It works almost every time, which is what makes the rare failure so difficult to accept. Whatever CENIPA finally concludes, the result of this one Sunday morning is already set. 6 people expected to be back on the ground within the hour. None of them made it home. We want to be straight with you about where this stands. Everything in this video is what we know in the first days after the crash. The place is confirmed. Both helicopters are confirmed. The 6 who died are confirmed. But the cause is not. No final report exists yet. No official cause has been named. The investigation is only beginning, and a full answer is likely months away. When those findings come out, we will come back and break down exactly what investigators found. That is a promise. A crash like this, one that took 6 lives in the middle of an ordinary morning, deserves to be followed all the way to the end. So if you want that update the moment it lands, subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss it. And if you have ever taken a helicopter tour over a city like Rio, tell us in the comments how it felt and whether a story like this changes how you see it. We will see you in the next one.